Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the World Qualifier here, and Kingzone evened up this particular tournament, but I think it means more than just that, because the way they did it was certainly a tilter if you're Damwon Gaming. So now the big test is, can this young team reset?
And that's why, you know, LS, you and I were talking about the draft. You were very, very hell-bent. There was no way back. But the thing that you're not talking about there is specific players making big mistakes, right? And the Baron was a huge mistake, but now we have to watch closely, because even if we like the Damwon side, the execution around Damwon in game number 3, even with a draft lead, this is the most likely time where you make a fumble after you know you should have sewn up a game. Like, that was kind of a 90-10 game after the early game, and yet Kingzone pick up the victory, and the asterisks don't matter if they win the series.
I like how generous you are with the 90-10. The Baron was a 99.999 repeating. Of course.
Repeating?
Repeating.
Whoa.
Whoa,
So,
then where do we get to the one? Where is the one? Because that's the one that actually came out on top.
In the LCK.
Oh my goodness,
right,
we'll have to
that's
do
what the
some
Baron
crazy math in order to get there. I don't know whether my calculator could do it, but Deft certainly did not fail him as we get into Champion Select for game number 3. And once again, Damwon are going to be on our red side. Kingzone obviously not feeling too worried about this one, as we'll see whether these bans are going to change, namely on Damwon's side.
Yeah, there's a chance that you have to ban a second Nuguri champion here, because Nuguri won the game but didn't win the game on the rise, 100 CS up, but they couldn't actually translate it into a lead. But now, Vlad is the ban, and it was Vlad, Yumi, and Elise to catch people up. On the blue side, banned by Kingzone in game number 1.
Yeah, and Karma, Zaya, and Akali were the bans for Damwon's side. And that is what's happening once again. Don't need no script for this one. We wrote down the picks and bans for the first 2 games.
Speak for yourself, Atlas.
Yeah, you actually wrote them down. We were just reading.
Oh, right, okay. So you guys just know the script.
I'm copying your answers.
I just don't understand why I'm the only one that doesn't get a copy of this script. You know, it's...
They don't hand it to the most handsome.
Ah, is that what it is?
That must be it. As we're going to have a
Exactly.
change, guys, Sejuani.
Yeah.
Going to be the final champion, banned on blue. I love Sejuani as a ban against Damwon, because they have 2 carry laners that can play your Irelias and Fioras and all of the carry champions that synergize super hard with Sejuani. And it's a nice answer to Gragas, where you say, okay, you've got a combo, we've got strong gankable lanes. Now that side over is not there, but you can take Elise to try to amp up the pressure. And speaking of, how about the mid and top lane flex duo that really allow for lane destruction?
Yep, exactly right. This is going to be the flex Renekton and Elise into any of those solo lanes to almost guarantee first bloods in the early game.
What you guarantee is that the enemy laner is paranoid. Like, you're so scared of your top lane against this duo, and you're based like jungler. Get in there, ward every camp. I need to know which side the map is on, otherwise I have to play way back.
Well, Cuzz is going to lock away the Yasuo Gragas once again. So far, that combo has 100% win rate, so it's a bit of a no-brainer to pick that one up. But against the Renekton and the Elise, it could be very, very scary.
The LeBlanc is open as well, which we know that ShowMaker is definitely capable of playing. So we'll have to see what Damwon's next response is going to be, as Aatrox now will be the top laner of choice, most likely.
Yeah, I was actually half expecting a Braum pick to come in here, just because the double walls were really powerful in game 2, but going to be the Aatrox for as much power in these solo lanes as possible.
I prefer them holding on to their duo lane to second round, because they are a duo lane between TusiN and Deft, who have a champion Ocean, and with 1 or 2 picks revealed, they'll find their counter pick. They'll find a winning 2v2, so if they're actually confident enough to have their top side blind pick everything or early pick everything and get through it, I think Kingzone should keep going down that way.
In Damwon, they lock in the Kai'Sa, which it has been extremely lackluster in the game so far. Nuclear not having the best of performances, R-ing into slicing Maelstroms, not using Flash, losing on a lot of damage. I mean, you may as well just pick Kog'Maw if you're going to play like this.
Now, we should mention that Damwon use Kai'Sa different to other teams in that really it is the dive bomber for either ShowMaker or Nuguri to actually get the kills. Like, ShowMaker or Nuguri is on the Corki or the Vlad to get the quadra kill. You almost feel like he's pigeonholed into Corki here in the mid lane, because where are they going to find the second consistent damage dealer? Because when Damwon have tried to make ShowMaker the hard carry, the Deft, on the Kai'Sa with a clean-up Kai'Sa display. It just hasn't worked for the team. So they're going to have to find a damage dealer. They do have the Corki open if they want.
Well, Kiana going to be the last ban here, as both of these teams with AP junglers, meaning that we have a lot of flexibility in what solo lanes can be locked in for either team. And now Damwon, do they shore up their bottom lane now, or do they try and get at least half
You
of
have
it
to
to
choose a
counterpick?
solo laner here, otherwise you're going to get so heavily counterpicked in AD carry and support.
Whoa, we're
I think
doing
go,
it.
yeah, mid lane Camille is going to be the choice here. Sejuani ban looking pretty good. That would have been a very strong ganking mid lane duo. And now there's, of course, also the chance that Nuguri is on this Camille. So a lot of flexibility there.
And Ezreal was being hovered. I really don't mind him in a spot like this, but now they're going to go over to the
Lucian Braum.
try it.
Yep.
Nice.
Lucian Braum was
Thank you.
the projected pickup here, one could say, as BeryL insta-locks the Alistar once again. And I've seen how this goes, and for Damwon it goes really well until it doesn't, I guess.
Damwon have to win this game with Nuguri split push, but they just had 100 CS advantage in a counter matchup and rolled up to every objective and lost. Now, you could argue they played perfectly and then lost to Baron and it fell apart, and that seems to be the Damwon theory here, because this game is won in the side lanes, not in the team fight.
Yeah. I don't know why they keep choosing this bot lane. If you already know that this is going to be how you're going to conduct yourself, why is your bot lane not just either inherently safer or scale even stronger than what Kai'Sa and Alistar are offering?
I think it comes from the jungle here in this game. I think the Elise pickup, which was the ban that was dropped on Kingzone's side, Kingzone do respect this pick out of Canyon a lot, and he can get a lot of work done in the earlier stages of the game to get these solo lanes to positions that they're happy with.
Now, if you're willing to use resources from the jungle, you play Morgana in this spot as support, but BeryL's played no games of Morgana and really is a tank support player. So he's basically taking dog matchup after dog matchup on Alistar, looking for the outplays, which to his credit, he was making in the previous game. However, it's taking a big L on the bottom side, even with counterpick. So it is definitely a different way to approach the game, and it requires Nuclear and BeryL to play a really weird style in the bot lane just to stay relevant.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here as we move into game number 3. Kingzone versus Dom. And as we make our way out onto the beautiful Summoner's Rift here on a lovely afternoon here in Runeterra, of course not a lovely afternoon here in Korea, because
furthest from it.
we have a big old typhoon happening, and Infernal Drake will be starting up first here, and it's just pretty off-brand based on the current weather outside.
No, I heard Typhoon, and that has a very strong connotation. I hadn't experienced one before, but I was walking over because there was actually some issues on the public transit, so I had to walk from the station a little bit further than usual. Yeah, we all had those problems. And I was actually being, moved to the right by the wind. And
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big guy, so I was like, okay, this is, I'm getting it. Typhoon winds, impressive.
Yeah, there's something.
It's raining outside, right? So I brought my umbrella because I'm in Australia. We don't have very many typhoons over there, and my umbrella turned itself inside out and back again about 7 times before I realized that an umbrella was a bad idea. It was not so good, and then I took a cab from my house because I just didn't want to ruin my hair.
Now, Canyon's first game of summer on the Elise, and Elise is a Feast of Famine champion, so it'll be very interesting. Has a different role to Gragas, who can always just farm and throw casks.
Yeah, Lisa's extremely low economy. She wants to be all over the map, she wants to be creating pressure, and so now how are Kingzone going to handle that this time around? Because there's going to be significantly less downtime than in the game before.
How tilted, if Elise full clears her jungle, will you be? Is the game over there? Are we willing to call it?
We're going back to a duo cast. He's doing it.
Can we not?
Every camp, come on, Canyon, get that level 4.
Oh no.
Just wait for it.
I've got a movie to watch after this. Come on, I can't have it.
No, you're
leaving.
watching it right now. You said it's a horror, right?
What time does the
that's
movie
true.
play? What show are you guys expecting to go to?
Well,
We've got a lot of different session options, actually.
Is there a midnight showing?
Well, I actually listed Atlas all of the show times. Let me tell them.
All right,
okay?
thank you. This is important analysis.
If you're in Korea, you can come watch a movie.
9:20, 9:50, 10:25. But then I looked up the script and I just gave them the only one that mattered.
Yeah, it was the 9:50 though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh wow. So
Yeah.
we're apparently getting out of here pretty quick. As I check my watch, but I know that it's wrong because I forgot to wind it this morning. Yeah, problematic.
Zone just slowly pushing in the wave. They've had wave control the entirety of the time. Here's Canyon. Didn't clear all his camps, to his credit.
Hey, yeah, there we go. Got the Raptor camp and the Krug still up.
Wowzers!
Oh, we're seeing a movie tonight. Hell yeah.
Oh,
Well,
not here in time.
yep, Agatha going to be taken pretty comfortably there as Cuzz is going to swim his way towards the top side. I love Scoop Gragas, I really do.
I run straight into lane, actually, at the moment to be in position for a counter gank. Definitely not going to win the Scuttle battle 1v1 against an Elise, so smart to give that one up.
Yep, see whether he does spend some time heading over towards the bottom scuttle.
Lucian and Braum, just like in the game before, same mirror. They're going over to the Scuttle Crab. But Elise making her way. Nuclear and BeryL, to their credit, they are playing it out a little bit better this time around.
Those adjustments will get a double Scuttle, an easy ride into level 4, and actually with the respawn of Gromp, it could actually be a really power clear from here as well.
Yeah, Canyon definitely getting the better leg up in terms of tempo and pacing right now. And I guess you know what they say, Papa, third time's the charm here for the bot lane.
I guess so. See whether they can continue doing so. Now Deft 1 versus 2 at this point. BeryL level 3. A little bit dangerous, but Deft has been sidestepping pulverizers all series. He certainly hasn't been the question mark on King's own side. Something that we were expecting from this series, of course, and have all year.
But to be clear, if it just ends up being a couple of Scuttles, a half-level lead, and we farm it out till Yasuo or Gragas are ready to teamfight, the bug splat is so real on the Elise. Her teamfight role here against Braum, Yasuo, and a Gragas combo, like Cocoon's going to get hit by some form of wall, and she's going to blow up an AoE. So she really does need to find inroads, specifically getting Nuguri ahead, because like we mentioned, he is the primary win condition here, winning in the 1, not in the 5.
And we have to point out that he's taking Klepto again. It's the only the only keystone that he will ever take on the Camille.
He does it against Renekton, so he's definitely doing it against the Aatrox.
Yeah. Just like to point it out. I think he's only got 1 Camille room page. Doesn't think that there's any other options.
Infernal Drake is alive now, and Elise with the red smite actually able to potentially go over there and start it up depending on how mid continues to play out. And if Gragas shows topside, that's definitely going to be on her menu.
Well, Gragas going to show topside.
Yeah, and there's a hookshot that is now on cooldown for Nuguri as the Predator shows that he's here, has a drink. Will he find the belly bob? The mind game's there. The flash is early from Nuguri. Very well played, like you say, Pub.
Cuzz had the angle that required a flash, and he didn't need to flash himself, so really nicely done.
You can see the pings actually went down onto the Infernal. Kingzone aware that if that top gank fails in the way that it did, that the immediate response from Damwon is an Elise pivot into an immediate Infernal counter.
These are really nice standard map plays, but extra wrinkles being added. This is a TP back from the Renekton to mid.
Yep, Naehyun going to finally find a way to move into this river, but they are going to respect the teleport. And the Infernal Drake's going to be a little bit annoying there, but will be taken here from Damwon.
For a couple of reasons, this is a good call. For one, there was no control ward for TusiN and Deft to put in the back of the pit, so they don't keep eyes on it. Remember also, Cuzz is not level 6, so can't just go for the easy combo with Naehyun. The damage is not there. This is the time where you can afford to walk up, and at level 6 with base items, Damwon gaming is strong.
Well, Rascal's also pretty strong here on the top side. Been laning quite well against Nuguri, all things considered.
It's not a winning matchup for the Camille early. Very much earlier about getting your procs, getting to level 9, starting your Trinity Force, then things get better. Aatrox, you know, just even the W arming gives you really preferential damage trades.
Well, red buff is going to be stolen away here. And Canyon's been getting a lot of respect from Kingzone in this jungle on the Elise. As we're stacking Q on these Raptor cams. Cuzz, is he going to face check is the question. BeryL gets in there, spots out that Canyon is stealing them away, gets one of the popcorn chickens. We'll be able to get another one here as Rascal lands another Infernal Chain, but doesn't get the proc.
Really liking how Damwon are playing. They've had first roam multiple times ever since they brought their duo lane up, and ShowMaker invaded for vision earlier. They're playing around a strong side, and if you notice, there is no mirror strong side for Kingzone. Only the successful gang top side getting a flash. So overall, when it comes to the amount of resources expended and the amount of things gained, Damwon do have that slight lead, but it's a lead of 500 gold.
And are those team fights going to be the place where Kingzone can get things back together? Once again, the two walls, but not quite as much value from the Wind Wall, from the Unbreakable this time around, apart from Nuclear's damage and Canyon's few spells that he's going to be throwing in there. With the Camille and with the Renekton, they are certainly able to basically negate those two very high-value spells that were present in Game 2.
The Infernal Dragon will help them scale into the later stage. Oh, Rascal and Nuguri having a...
Yeah, breaks the chains there, gets the knock-up. The last breath comes through. There's a Hextech Ultimatum. Nuguri breaks it in order to get out, and they trade some ultimates, and that's about it.
Skill check enacted, skill check passed by the Camille. To no one's surprise, Nuguri's mechanics on point to make the escape there. Q2 enough to act as a knock-up. The knock-up party, it may not have an Alistair, but it's still there on the side of Kingzone.
Yep. That's a big one. There are knock-ups from top lane, mid lane, jungle, and support.
And you know, for a low econ jungler, by the way, Canyon has a CS advantage right now on the Elise.
You're a big fan of Canyon today, I see.
I am a, you know, I just...
You call it like you see it.
Yeah, you know, it's raining, so I'm a little bit raining as well.
I understand. Not quite tears of anger or sadness just yet, but we'll give it time.
I'm waiting for the tears of pride. When do they come?
I'm waiting for the items on Elise meaning something in this game. It does feel like that is almost impossible. You kind of just have to build double pen and the AP jungle item and snowball your top laner. Otherwise, it's going to be sad times.
Yeah, it feels like the only item spike that you get after that is like Banshee's Veil or Zhonya's.
Is that a power spike? You just die slower.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's kind of my nut and a point.
I mean, funnily enough, years ago when we had Elise kind of every game, I think in 2015-16,
yeah,
we actually had two schools of thought where Peanut would go Proto Belt Rylai's and Score would go tank. You know, go back in those days it was something like Locket Shield from the jungle and tank side, but the tank side's kind of dead. Everyone goes AP on Gragas and Elise, and that does mean teamfight Elise is basically dead.
Well, Canyon's going to see what he can do with the extra money that he's going to have. Now has his Runic Echoes completed, so item advantage in the jungle for Canyon.
And interestingly enough, this time around, look at the itemization on Nuclear. He picked up a call, which probably gives us a lot of insight into his mindset this game. I'm not going to try to fight. We're not going to skirmish. Just going to stack up this call. I'm going to know my role, as Dwayne Johnson might say.
And I'm sure Deft looks at this, so we'll hold the point.
Yeah, TusiN going to get missed there by Canyon and decides to run all the way forward. Gets himself the repel as ShowMaker turns up. But TusiN still body blocking in here. They want to be able to get the ultimate. They find it. Remember, repel on cooldown. Canyon very vulnerable, but that Hextech Ultimatum blocks any aggression. And Rascal with the World Ender, he wants to be able to pick it up. Does. Flashes out. But the kills have already happened on the other side of the fight.
And it's a massive victory for Damwon when you look at it. They get so much of a tempo swing from all of this as well.
Oh, dear.
And now they're preying upon Deft. Cuzz is going to waddle his way down here.
Wants to find something. Ardent Blaze to try and get any sort of kill secure, but it's not going to be there. Too much CC, and Nuguri able to tank up the turret for as long as he wants. Damwon once again with a big early advantage.
And they were able to fight again before those item completions were there to give Kingzone this supremely strong 5v5. And crucially, when you watch the replay, Kai'Sa could swoop in with her ult. Deft was on the outside, unable to respond, and that just meant that Kingzone were mown down, where they certainly could have been worse if they hit this cocoon onto TusiN.
Well, TusiN, he cast his ultimate, teleport was channeled, and then followed shortly thereafter.
Oh, the barrel whip. Barrel whip, Nuclear can join,
yeah.
Lucian's on the outside, and again, item completions, teamfight lockout phase. That's what we predicted. It was a Zeal done by the Yasuo. It was a Lucian that couldn't even group, and then it was a Lucian that even with a nice flash, had no way out.
Yep, not a lot of options there, and another Drake now is going to go over to Damwon Gaming. Another Inferno.
They rolled another Inferno. How much did you pay them, Atlas?
Oh, I didn't pay them.
Ridiculous.
What? I don't see how I benefit from this.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, Unbreakable is going to be put down there by TusiN, but feeling like that ability needs a new name. As Kingzone are struggling to find anything working out for them. It feels like one of the first red buffs that Cuzz has been able to get so far this game as Nuclear throws in the Q. TusiN as well will have that door to be put back up once again, but that's that headbutt pulverize. They trade some ultimates, but Deft is just dead before anything really happens, and they're able to tank up this turret. But as long as they want, BeryL, this is why he picks the Alistar and Cuzz once again. I feel like this has happened before, guys. And
ShowMaker is just helping put on a clinic down here in bot lane, and you can see that Naehyun doesn't sort of seem to know how to respond. He tried to follow, despite being light years behind, and so he's slow to return to the mid lane, so even when he gets the crash, ShowMaker's basically back. He's going to steal away some of the Raptor camp right now, but Deft was one of the saving graces in every game so far tonight. He's been put 6 feet under.
Absolutely, and it's a team plan to do that. We kept wondering why last pick Alistar. Mid lane, ShowMaker continues to brawl.
Yep, BeryL gonna miss again, as there's the last breath. It's used onto Canyon, though. He just turns around and murders the Yasuo. Teleport from Nuclear is unnecessary, but cute. And ShowMaker's going to hang around to try and pick up some plates, and does so very comfortably.
The moment the cast miss, you have to bail out. You have no items on the Yasuo, so you cannot one rotation anyone. Poor decision-making by Naehyun, but this packing up, roaming through mid lane with the preferential trade matchup of Renekton into the Yasuo is getting Damwon chain advantages, and Kai'Sa can always be played through because she has that synergy with hard crowd control. They're putting on a clinic bot side, and like you mentioned, LS, now Lucian Brom's behind, and we know that from behind, very often it doesn't do very much.
Well, the whole Kingzone team composition from behind doesn't have much going for it except for Yasuo. And so the fact that everyone is behind and there's an Infernal on the side of Damwon, it's looking equally and more disastrous than Game 2. As in the replay here, you can see there's literally nothing that Kingzone could have done. Naehyun, what are you doing on the minimap? He followed all the way down into red before turning around. And then in this replay,
the moment the cast misses, the play is over, decides to dive in, and the teleport, insult upon injury, they already had the kill.
Now, Cuzz was stunned.
What's he doing? What's he doing? He thought the same thing as us, is what's he doing? He's dead.
Kegul is like...
He said yummy.
He said yummy, but it's also sort of like how we use poggers or PogChamp. So, it's pretty much like that.
Sounds, the combo of PogChamp and Yummy is basically setting up that play, so I like it.
Not often you'll see a Renekton with this much kill participation in a game that hasn't been about Elise going mid. It's been very much about Elise and Renekton going bot, so instead of camping mid lane like we saw with SK Telecom T1 playing the mid lane Renekton and Elise duo, they've been transferring their power bot side to much success.
Exactly what they want to be doing here as well, as Shelly shows up in the mid lane. Looks like they're looking to try and get rid of this turret. Should be able to do so. And BeryL actually connects this time, and there's the body slam. Naehyun looking for it, and they will be able to pick up that kill. Meanwhile, the rest of Damwon are diving this one. Rascal gets some cheeky little knockups, and Deft teleported right into the middle of a team fight. That's exactly not what you don't want to do, but he's still alive for the moment. The culling going to be ignored by Nuclear, and Damwon are way too far ahead. Especially when there's these big problems. Headbutt pulverizes massive onto 3 as Cuzz goes golden just to see his death and get a double kill for ShowMaker.
The ace is confirmed, and the mid lane turret, this is going to be a triple charge Shelly. Give her a medal. She's been a real trooper this time.
Damn, that shoulder must be hurting. She needs a massage after this one. Might be able to have a conversation with Baron about getting one of those.
Infernal is coming up in just under 30 seconds. Game 4 in under 10 minutes. And you have to wonder, what is Kingzone thinking at this point in time? You take a look at the dive, it looks like they were actually just going to be able to burst Nuguri down right away, but not quite. Teleport came in, Deft trying to run to TusiN, but it just didn't matter.
And watch BeryL this fight. Already a big headbutt pulverized to begin, but he's able to clean up here on the back end. Another 3-man headbutt pulverized, continues to tank up the turret. This is the honor already picked up. We're honoring Alistar after this game. We're honoring him on the cast right now, and We've seen a game 1 where we thought it was over from a Damwon perspective, a game 2 where Kingzone could bring it back by a Baron steal from a culling when 5 people were alive to block it. They're going to need to be even more creative in game number 3 because we're at lockout gold territory. It's 10,000 gold, double Infernal at 17 minutes.
Yeah, pre-20 minutes, double Infernal, 10,000 gold lead. I'm a bit scared of saying things are over given game number 2, but I think this one's probably a pretty comfy. Let's think about what game number 4 is going to have for us, Kingzone, and can you reset?
Atlas, you're always so pessimistic, okay? Now, here's the world. Let me break it down for you.
Right.
Kingzone, they're going to steal the Baron. Then they're going to win a team
What
fight.
are they going to use to steal the Baron this time? Because the culling was a pretty cool
Braum
one.
ultimate.
Is it going to be Braum
Yep.
ultimate?
Yeah.
Right. See?
That 120 damage or so.
You
I
were
like
so
it.
negative.
Oh, no, I'm just wondering what's better than a
What
culling.
about an Infernal
Ardent
Chains
Blaze.
over the wall?
Infernal Chains over the wall is pretty good. Ardent Blaze,
I like that.
Ardent Blaze Steel is pretty good.
How about a Runic Echoes proc?
Oh.
No, but
Oh,
that
that
means that
sounds pretty
Cuzz
good.
has to be there. Cuzz can't even be
He
there.
can't even
there
be there.
can't be a
He has
chance
to
for
be
a
on-
smite 50-50. No,
he has
that's
to be on
unfair.
golems.
Yeah, he has to be on golems, bottom side of the map. Yeah.
Oh, no. How about this, okay?
Okay.
He throws the Q at Nuguri and Qs him as Nuguri's teleport finishes.
Oh,
Then the Runic.
that might be
Do me one
too
better, Papa.
next
Do me
level.
one
All right, Naehyun cues someone near the pit and Static Shiv steals it.
Oh, I like that one.
That one's pretty good.
I think that's my
That
favorite.
is pretty
so
fog, yeah.
far. All right, well, check
Any-
the script.
I mean, what happened in game
Are
2
there any
was
truers?
super unlikely. So we might as well come up with the next level here.
Yeah. Well, Rascal's underneath his turret. He's wishing for his old revive passive back as the Cocoon's going to land, and the Aatrox is dead, guys. That's just how that one's going to go. Nuclear wanted to find it with the Void Seeker, but that CC bar extended forever, and that life of the turret is now over. Gold lead is also continuing as Naehyun does find the ultimate, but he's immediately dead. Nuclear finds that with a Q as an afterthought towards the end, and TusiN with a bit of a disengage ultimate that isn't really going to work. Now in a turret under fire, but the minion wave has been taken down.
Well, that was emphatic on the side of Damwon. Yasuo emphatically to his death in half a second, trying to come in with the gap close. He still has no items, so I don't really know why he's punching in.
Well, he's doing the Leroy Award. That's what he's going for this game.
There were many whelps, and he had to handle them, dude.
He's going for the Jenkins title.
I want to know what his DKP is sitting at after this game. It's not going to be high. As, we'll have a look at it again.
Show us one more
let's go.
time.
Boom.
He died during the headbutt CC.
Yeah.
It's not that much CC on headbutt, to be clear.
Well, he was very dead. At least the BeryL was able to clear out the minion wave, so the center turret is going to survive for the moment.
Why is the least have Morello? Break it down for me, Papa.
Because he has 6 items and he didn't want to sell his refillable. That's why.
There we go. There we go. He's reading the script as
Get
to what
out.
happens in the next game. That's what he's doing.
At least he doesn't have an open item slot. That would be really
I'm sure that it's just to reduce the healing on Fleet Footwork.
That is important.
That's true.
That's very important.
They
And
need
there's
to,
still a Blade of the Ruin King. Cuzz needs reduced healing on his I'm taking a drink and
All right.
wandering
I'm
around,
taking a
okay?
drink.
And Rascal's got a lot of healing as well.
that 60 healing becomes like 40.
I know.
All right. You
Really
convinced me.
You have to challenge that one because it's not like they're bursting anyone right now.
Run,
with this
TusiN.
Damwon composition. He's not running. He's killing.
Let's take a look at how much healing he can reduce this fight.
Now, Camille's not there and doesn't have TP, so actually could have understood them trying to make something happen. Unfortunately, they're behind 12,000 gold, so probably still would have lost 4v5.
It was almost looking like a flanking play there from Nuguri as he's still positioning. You can see picture in picture. Now considering whether or not this red buff is coming back off cooldown as the Baron is being pinged. And Nuguri's going to wander over a ward getting there. I
All right.
have a feeling that Kingzone will know that this is happening.
Cue
but
the Daft Punk.
we really need this static shift to move on over into position. Kingzone, I don't think they're going to be here in time this time around. 1,000 health, and that's a very dead Baron. It is taken by the Kaiser as there's the flash from TusiN, trying to turn it, but no last breath is going to be channeled. BeryL once again, party cast into mid lane for no reason. There's the flash forward. Good body slam though. Make sure that ShowMaker can't get in. A big pulverize from BeryL. An angry cow just inviting his teammates to pick up some kills, but they haven't happened yet. And Naehyun still hasn't pressed R. and the disengage happens.
That was actually a very difficult all-in to try to avert with so much of a gold disadvantage. Smartly, Naehyun doesn't take a one-way trip to the death chamber. Damwon overforcing their engage, as we know, is pretty conditional without flashes up. They use them, they don't get an engage. They actually have to use this Baron intelligently in 3 lanes. Remember, they had a huge lead in game number 2, then just made it about team fights when they didn't need to. This one is more forgiving with the gold lead they have, but they have been thwarted, at least at the first turn.
It's a lot of very large gold advantages in these lanes as well. The 409 ShowMaker Renekton now with a 700 gold bounty on his back, a 60 CS advantage on top of it. Here at 23 minutes into the game, ain't nothing to scoff at with double Infernal building almost towards his Guardian Angel. It's going to be a very scary crocodile in the middle of these team fights, not to mention 3 items already done on Nuclear. Getting slowed down. The rest of the team, though, is going to turn up. Big Pulverize once again as Cuzz says, nope, 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 I ain't getting into this fight. As the Cocoon comes forward, Killer Instinct, that's 1 Q, and a very dead Cuzz.
He got nuked.
Oh yeah, he did. Finally, Nuclear living up to his name as BeryL, diving under the turret. Rascal, oh no, this is just looking like Damwon Gaming have the heaviest wallets that we've seen so far this series, and are finally using them intelligently.
Only 23 minutes into the game, but it feels hella over. Now we're gonna get in the mid lane, inhibitor turret. They'll get a second one in the bottom side here. This could be lethal range for just ending the game with 1 more pick.
Yeah, this is King's Own. They're battling for Helm's Deep, but Gandalf is not coming to save them this time around.
He's not?
Nope, sorry. It's in your script. Read it. As Damwon looking for that one last reset before they send the rest of the troops in to take this one down.
They're playing as safe as humanly possible, and probably because of what happened
yeah, I mean,
in game number 2.
Look at Cuzz, the drive-by. He's like, no, no, no.
Just watch Nuclear.
he really waits. Smartly done here, and then is able to burst 600 HP with auto and a Q.
Yeah.
That's very talented. Now, let's take a look at this as they pin Aatrox up against the wall.
That's what a gold lead feels like. There's nothing Aatrox can do here. So we've got another WQ. BeryL, calm down.
Yep, TusiN does avoid at least the Cocoon as Rascal. He's very good at dying in these scenarios, but this time he's not going to be that time. They'll take TusiN. He's going to be the consolation prize, and Rascal's going to be able to slink back towards his fountain unless Nuguri can catch him. Because there are 2 inhibitors down. The last one is now being targeted. As thankfully that Void Seeker didn't land because this AP Kai'Sa does a hell of a lot of damage. With that W ability, Damwon now bearing down on these Nexus turrets.
You know, I'm not used to watching this, I'm sorry, in the LCK. This has been 3 games that have gone by extremely quickly.
Yeah, this is some high-octane League of Legends, one way or the other. Another ultimate is going to come in there as BeryL doing the best he can with these pulverizers. TusiN's going to die, and ShowMaker with the Culvermeek does lock down the Gragas. Now such low health bars underneath this turret. ShowMaker in underneath the fountain, and that's one hell of a pose as he's even able to survive. That's a Damwon Gaming that can bounce back and move in to a game number 4 and a match point and a world's birth with fantastic momentum.
Everything calculated on the Renekton there. Love the pose. 10 out of 10 from me. And that just means, like you say, 1 more game victory. Damwon proving they can reset after a tilting Baron steal. Ended game number 2. They may be the first ever Korean team to qualify for the play-ins and join SK Telecom T1 and Team Griffin over in Europe.
And you know, what a fitting Worlds attendance if Damwon does make it. Last year there was lots of pro players that said the 2 best teams in the world aren't actually here, and they were referring to Damwon and Griffin. And now, what a fitting end to LCK Summer 2019 if Griffin and Damwon both go into Worlds. And Damwon, they'll go into play-ins. They'll make it through, by the way. And they'll get the warm-up that can really probably benefit them.
And I was going to say, if I pushed you right now to say, all right, Griffin already in main event of Worlds, Damwon playing through play-ins.
You mean the finals against SKT?
Well, that's a different script.
Oh,
but on a simpler level, already in groups versus needing to go through play-ins, you probably now think that Damwon have more upside at Worlds just because playing in play-ins and getting themselves settled in Europe, on the stage, on the patch, is probably a boon. We've had so many teams recently go from play-ins to World semi-finals. That's been a pretty constant trajectory that I think that will benefit whoever the third team at Worlds is from Korea.
How the hell do you get a 20,000 gold lead at 25 minutes?
Well, it all starts with this particular game where they got a big lead. The Yasuo went the wrong direction a couple of times, and it was 12K really early, Atlas.
That wasn't a perfect game, though.
No.
Hell
So,
no.
I'm not
That's true.
impressed.
It wasn't. There was some kills back and forth, and that's what happens when you have to play that aggressively. Some pretty impressive stuff. I was ready to hold up my 10 for that particular pose, but that's actually a 1. We are going to go to a short break. When we get back, we'll see whether Damwon can close it out or whether Kingzone can hold on. We'll see you then.